What's going on, Canes fans? Welcome to Walking and Venting, episode number 12, the series where I walk along the edge of my property and we talk about a controversial topic when it comes to the Miami Hurricanes, or sometimes things that I just feel real strongly about when it comes to the Canes. And look, I know we missed last week. There wasn't a whole lot going on, not much to talk about, but that has certainly changed this week. And I actually had a whole idea for this video, something that I wanted to talk about, and scrap all of it, because there's a much more hot topic, controversial take here that we are going to talk about. Notice the quotation marks in the title. That is not my statement. I do not agree with that. Very, very far from it. Wide receivers coach Kevin Beard is not the worst receivers coach in the history of the University of Miami. Absolutely not. And I think that's one of the most dumbass takes I have heard in a long time. And it's from Uncle Luke. A lot of you guys know Uncle Luke, Luther. I don't know. If you don't know who he is and his ties to Miami and history and all that stuff, I'm sure someone will happily fill you in down in the comment section below. But what we're going to do is actually take a look at a tweet that he put out today. I don't know if he proofread this. Actually, I know he did not proofread this. And I just don't know if he just rolls out of bed, does text-to-speech on his phone, and presses send without actually even thinking about it. I'm not really sure, but we are going to address this and what he said in it. And I want to give my opinion on his bad opinion. And you can tell me if you agree with me or you agree with him. It's up to you, but you're not going to hurt my feelings. You are free to speak your mind down in the comments. So let's talk about it. It reads as follows. And listen, bear with me. I'm going to read it the way that he typed it. Wide receiver coach Kevin Beard is the worst receiver coach in the history of University of Miami football. Can't develop and don't know how to rotate. This man has only played 4 receivers the entire year. Even Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle comes out of the game for the Miami Dolphins. I look at the big picture. Who will we have next year? We came experience. More importantly, what is he going to tell a recruit? Because 4 of these receivers on this list will be leaving for the NFL. That would leave us at a receiving core of players with no game experience. Every position on this team rotates in some shape or fashion except the receiver position. And then he proceeds to tag Dennis Smith. And same thing, if you guys don't know Dennis Smith, just ask. Most Canes fans are probably well aware of who Dennis Smith is. Now, I am not poking fun at the way he spelled things, honestly, or said stuff, because I do understand that social media is different from talking face-to-face with someone or putting something out that's official. Like, you don't have to be formal on social media, right? You shorthand things, and things are going to get misspelled, and there's autocorrect and all that. So I'm really not poking fun at that. But listen, I just want to come right out of the gate and say this. Kevin Beard, worst receivers coach in Miami history. Did he forget that Josh Gaddis in 2022 was the wide receivers coach? Now look, I know, hey Coop, yeah, but he was also the offensive coordinator, so he was kind of sharing duties there, so he had to split it, and no, it doesn't matter. He was officially the offensive coordinator and what? Wide receivers coach. So you are telling me, Luke, that Kevin Beard is a worse receivers coach than Josh Gaddis? Whoa. Whoa. Now hold on. I have so many things I want to say about this. He says can't develop and don't know how to rotate. Now, saying don't know how to rotate, I think that, obviously they kind of have to get together, I would assume. Gaddis and not Gaddis. Whoa, got Gaddis on the brain. Let's remove that. Let's move on from that. Dawson and Beard, kind of collab on that, and they figure it out. I can understand some frustration with wanting to see some other guys get some playing time because you're thinking about the future, right? But there's also the fact that the way they're doing this right now has led this team to a 10-1 season so far. So I think the bigger issue here, and I think what's bothering him, is Luke is a huge Ray Ray fan. Now, I'm a big Ray Ray fan. Most Canes fans are big fans of Ray Ray. We love that guy, and his time is coming. But he has someone by the name of Xavier Restrepo, you know, eating up a lot of the reps, playing in front of him. Restrepo's a well-conditioned guy, doesn't need to come out of the game very often. He is an impact player. And a lot of these games have been too close for comfort, and unless he needs a breather, you're not pulling your impact guy out. It just doesn't make sense. So he's getting a lot of snaps over Ray Ray because he's going to primarily be playing in the slot, right? And I think that it's an issue with Luke playing favorites a bit. He loves Ray Ray. That's his guy. He's been very vocal about it. He can't deny that. It's been all over social media that he loves Ray Ray. As I said, me too. But just because your guy is not getting the amount of snaps that you want does not mean that you can come on here and just straight call the position coach trash and the worst one in history, you know, at the University of Miami. That is a wild, crazy take to me. Now, he also goes on to talk about the NFL. Okay, well, I guess it's still football. We're talking about two different levels here, but let's kick it back to college then. Go and look at the receiving stats for a lot of the big teams. There's always exceptions because each team has a different set of circumstances. Roster built totally different, guys of all different levels. Let's say Ohio State. Let's say Colorado, because I also think Luke's a big Colorado fan. He's talking about them all the time. They have 4 or 5 regular receivers in the rotation that eat up most of the snaps and have the majority of the receptions for the team. It just is what it is. A lot of these other guys, man, Ray Ray, okay, in his second year, JoJo in his first year. Who else do you have? Nikar. These are younger guys that are gonna work their way in there. And a few of these guys did see some snaps in garbage time when Miami was handling business. But guess what? These ACC games have been close. And when you have guys like Restrepo, Brown, Horton, George. Why did I forget George? Listen, George. You don't just pull those guys just to rotate some other guys in and get snaps unless the other dudes need a breather or get injured. The games have been way too close for comfort, so I understand them keeping that main core group of guys in there. It's been working. There's some issues. I get it. Early on, some people were upset with Sam Brown and him, dropping a lot of balls and things, but all in all, they have gotten the job done, minus 1 or 2 games here and there, and it has worked out for the most part. I think it's hard to deny that, being at 10-1. But also, what else did we have here? He says, what is he going to tell a recruit? Well, look, again, I get it. I get part of it. But also, Luke, man, you're talking about how this could negatively impact recruiting when you are sitting here saying that their position coach that they're going to come in and play for is the worst in Miami Hurricanes history. What do you think that is going to do to recruiting? What do you think that tells the recruits if Kevin Beard is here next year and beyond? Do you want to come play for the worst position coach in Miami Hurricanes history? Come on down to the University of Miami. You are also sending a really bad message by you know your reach. You know the amount of people that are going to see your tweet, and it's going to be all over the place. Listen, it's just a wild take to me. That's a wild take. Tell me if you agree with Luke. If you do, it's okay. It's all right to have a bad opinion. Look, again, everybody it's a free country, man. You can say whatever the heck you want. It doesn't matter. You can voice your opinion, but I just cannot wrap my head around. It's not like he's just, if he comes out there, maybe he's just not good with words. And that's fine. That's fine. But why don't you go out there and tweet and say, man, I would sure love to see some more Ray Ray in the game. Man, if I would love to see Miami rotating receivers a little bit more so we could see Ray, JoJo, help those guys get some experience maybe going into 2025. Why do you start the tweet out with saying Kevin Beard is the worst wide receivers coach in Miami Hurricanes history? Do you have beef with Beard? Is there some thing going back like that we don't know about? Tell us. Maybe I don't have the full context here. Other than the fact that I know he loves Ray. And like I said, we do too. But you can't get that pissy and get your panties all in a wad because your favorite player is not seeing the snaps that you want. That is the wrong way to approach this. If you supposedly, root for this football team, and there have been a lot of question marks with that, a lot of things surrounding that whole situation, but I'm not here to speak on that. I think Kevin Beard is doing just fine. Kevin Beard is a guy who's very vocal. The players love him, and let me tell you, they did not love Gaddis. There is a thing as players speak, coach speak. We talk about that all the time. Typically, they are going to back their coach because you wouldn't come up to the podium and be like, I hate my position, coach. That's just not how it works unless there's a huge issue, right? Behind closed doors, a lot of them expressed some concern with Gaddis, and they were not a fan of him. They didn't get along. It wasn't about him holding them accountable and then it making them mad. There were a lot of confrontations and, Gaddis not taking any accountability, and a lot of the players, it rubbed them the wrong way, and they were vocal about it behind closed doors. I have had Restrepo on my show. I've talked to him. I've talked to some of the other guys, and they love Kevin Beard. He's relatable. He's high energy. He's vocal. He gets out there and is running routes with them and looks like a receiver, man. They love that guy. They want to play for him, and I just don't see. Everybody can be better, right? I'm not going to say Kevin Beard is perfect. I'm not going to say he's the greatest position coach in Miami history. But to say he is the worst, I'm going to keep going back to that first statement he made. To say he is the worst wide receiver coach in the history at the University of Miami, there's no way you can convince me of that. I don't think. Again, if you agree with him, then let me know in the comments and try to convince me. Again, there is no problem with saying I wish we could rotate some guys in a little bit more. I am not saying I have any issues with that statement. But it's just, here you want to know what I really think it is? I'm done. Look, we're 13 minutes in, so those of you that made it in, I'll just be honest. Number one, I already said Ray is like his favorite player, and that's okay. But I think he's pissed about that. And also the election is over, and we don't talk politics here, but Luke is big in the political scene, and his impressions, his views on his tweets dropped drastically once the election was over, and he needed to fire up some engagement farming. As simple as that. You put out something super controversial, it gets people talking, your engagements go up, your follower count goes up. It's social media 101. Getting clicks, getting views. I know about it because I'm in the business. It's exactly what I'm doing. Heck, my title, look at my title. It's going to get people to click it because I quoted what someone else said, but it's controversial. It's how this works, right? So he needed to drum up some attention again. Well, here you go, Luke. You got it. And I'm pretty sure Miami fans are going to be pretty upset about it. And again, before you say, what does it matter? Who cares? This is one guy. He has a very large reach. He has a massive following. He has a lot of eyes on him. And a ton of people are going to see this and be talking about it. So I think it's fair that we dedicate a whole dang video to it and talk about it. I've said all I want to say. I do not agree with his take. I think that's an outlandish, just wild take. I don't see how you can come to that conclusion unless it's personal issues that you have. I think Kevin Beard is doing fine. I know the players like him. Could things be better? Always. That applies not just to Miami, but every team. There's always improvements that could be made, things that he could do better. But I think that those younger guys, their time is coming. I think JoJo's a star. Ray still has potential, Carr, and some other guys in that room. But there is nothing wrong with your best players, who they see as their best players. They're at practice every day, who helps keep this offense moving, you know, that runs through Cam. There's nothing wrong with those guys getting the majority of the snaps. I understand the concern for the future. You want guys to be ready to play. What would provide more opportunities for that would be Miami blowing out some of these ACC opponents, because the whole second half of the season was nothing but conference opponents. And they have been close for the most part. That would provide more garbage time. They could have got more snaps. It just didn't work that way. It didn't work that way. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't see a large amount of regression with any of the receivers. Restrepo continued to do his thing. But that guy's a star anyways. I think it just about doesn't matter who the receiver coach is with Restrepo. He's going to do his thing. Obviously, like I said, there were early issues with Brown. But the issues we saw were some things they struggled with before. No one has just dropped off of a cliff under Beard, in my opinion. And again, I'm open to being wrong. I'm open to having a grown-up discussion down in the comments. And let's just talk about it. But don't shy away from speaking your mind. And you can fire away at me or at Luke. It does not matter to me. Say whatever you want to say. And if you're upset because you don't want to do a whole video just talking about this, that's fine too. I get it. But it's walking and venting. It's about hot topics, controversial subjects. And if you're not on Twitter, you may not be aware of this, but it's been the topic of the day. Everyone is discussing it. I brought it up and said, hey, do y'all agree with this? And it just blew the heck up. Everybody wants to give their input on it. Sometimes Luke feels more like, okay, I'm gonna try to be hip here. He feels more like an op. He feels more like the ops than an actual like family member and fellow Canes fan. Because there's constructive criticism, and then there's just stupidity. There's just trying to cause issues and inject drama when it's really not needed, especially at a point in time right now where if you want to harp on the little things, again, the constructive criticism, that's fine. But to bring this up now, 10-1, you know, again, we've been talking about the defense and things that could be done better, but this just, I don't know, maybe you can help me understand. Voice your opinion. Let's talk about it. This is not what I expected to make today. Look, I have another topic. I guess maybe we'll move it to next week, or, you know, we'll do a separate video for it. We'll do a separate video for what I actually wanted to talk about in Walking and Venting. This is too controversial to not discuss it, and I want to know your opinion. I value your opinion. You are my college football family, fellow Canes fans. Let me know. Because I might be dead wrong. I might be the minority in this. I don't think I am, but it's possible. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.